Hi, I'm William Kray. I'm a delivery manager with Caylent.
I'm Zach Tuttle. I'm a director of migrations and modernizations at Caylent. And we're going to talk about Control Tower.
Since you're more familiar with Control Tower, can you kind of walk me through some of the history of how it's evolved?
Sure. So when it was first released, I was actually working on a project with a company that we were building this from scratch. They had the need to create several hundred accounts frequently. And so we were creating a lot of automation to do this using Lambda functions and step functions and other services within AWS. And it took a lot of engineers many months of time to build a very robust solution. And then of course, as AWS does, when you finish building this thing, they release their product that does the same functionality. At least 80% is good. And so we started to use it and started to see how it's using stack sets and stuff like that to manage all the different accounts. And it was very good in the beginning. It was still maybe limited in certain ways because of limitations around organizations or regions and stuff. But over the last couple of years, they've really improved that and taken away any objection that we may have had on using it. I would say that in solid 90% of use cases, it's very, very good to use as your baseline to get your account really in place. One of the main advantages of Control Tower is it saves so many working hours to build these same tools yourselves. In order to consistently get an account deployed with the exact same infrastructure, with the same SCPs, with the same config rules and any custom config rules you have, is a lot of hours to build that automation. And this happens within a matter of hours. A few clicks and you can have an account with all these things and a solid baseline to have it. Again, with the announcement of the account factory for Terraform, that takes away any hesitation by people that may have had when they were Terraform shops and they weren't using CloudFormation. And then the other integrations that they're having with all the other services pulling up into the Control Tower console, a single pane of glass view, making it easier for customers to use it. Working in Canada now is a huge win. Things like that, also being able to select regions that you can decide to not deploy Control Tower resources to, just to not get an extra couple bucks in charges for some config rules or something like that is very helpful.
Well, and it's so easy to have rules in place that work in all the regions that you deploy to, but then someone decides to go put something in a new region because you didn't have rules in place to prevent them from doing so. So that's really cool that it includes those features.
Yeah.
What about, I know Control Tower uses organizational units as sort of the way to control access and restrictions and things like that. Can you go into a little bit more detail? Because I'm limited on my use case there.
Yeah, so it does use organizations, the AWS organizations, and it does have I would say maybe a slightly limited subset of the features that organizations normally provides. The support for nested OUs just happened with Control Tower as well. So that is very helpful for companies that want to organize their accounts in that way. Sometimes a company may have something like a prod databases OU versus a prod app server OU or something like that, right? And sub-nested OUs under that some people found useful for organizing it. So that's a big deal in that way. But in reality, you should be able to use your OUs in such a way where a single layer is just fine. You can just have it broad. You can have OU with a single set of SCPs against it. But that's in the way, that's what it uses organizations for, is just managing the accounts that you build out through the account factory.
With all this cool stuff that's going on with Control Tower, I understand we have a catalyst for this called Caylent Catalyst Control Tower. What does that include?
So a catalyst for Caylent is essentially a prepackaged project that has a lot of materials pre-developed so that we can offer it at a low cost to the customer. It has a lot of materials internally as well, so that our architects and our engineers that run it have a very consistent way of performing this project. So what it is it's a series of deployment steps for Control Tower, as well as some workshops, some extra information for the customer so that they can really understand what each aspect of Control Tower is, as well as some customization options. So that we can do things like deploy custom alerts for them, or billing alerts, or cost control things that they may be concerned about as they're building out their foundation. Things like custom config rules. Maybe they want to use CIS config rules. We can help them deploy that and get that set up. Questions around AWS SSO or integrations with their identity providers. Stuff like that. That's kind of, in a way, we have a lot of internal materials and workflows and code that make it so that we can deliver this very quickly for a customer. Our Control Tower Catalyst typically takes about 1 to 2 weeks. So it's very fast and it's very affordable.
Wow. And then can a customer still take advantage of our Catalyst with us if they already have multiple AWS accounts, but they're not leveraging Control Tower? Or is this strictly for, greenfield deployments?
Oh no, we can absolutely use current accounts right now. So Control Tower does have the ability to pull in existing accounts into it. So what we would do essentially is set up a new Control Tower baseline for them and then start importing their accounts into it with them. And we can definitely do that as part of the Catalyst.
Awesome.